Jehovah's Witnesses had been secretly using Spiritistic music at their conventions and passing it off as their own. Now, when I was a Jehovah's Witness and I went to conventions and assemblies, I assumed that all the music being played in their videos was orchestrated by them. And that's the impression that they give. In fact, they even have videos on how they make their own music. But not only are they using Spiritistic music and passing it off as their own, they're actually even paying for it. They're using our donation money. You know, when they have conventions and assemblies and they ask to donate for the cost of the convention? Well, some of those donations, some of those costs for the convention is to pay other artists to make some of their music for them. Now, if you look on the left, that is a convention video of the resurrection. That's one of their resurrection videos. And on the right, that is the musician, the album cover of where the song actually came from. And anyone that has been a Jehovah's Witness, you know, if you look at that image right there on the right, you would consider that Spiritism according to Jehovah's Witness standards. And in a sense, it actually is. But before I go any further, I'm going to just get right to the evidence to prove that they are indeed paying artists like the one on the right and secretly putting it at their conventions and passing it off as their own. So to get right into the evidence, go to jw.org and you want to type in a search on jw.org, Jehovah will treat his loyal one in a special way. So that's what you want to do. Go to jw.org, type in Jehovah will treat his loyal one in a special way. And this is going to bring us to the image on the left that we just looked at. So there it is right there. Jehovah will treat his loyal one in a special way. Now, when we play this video, it's important that we want to start it at exactly 40 seconds in. Okay, now this is important because we're going to compare it to the sample on iTunes of the exact song to show where it comes from. So we're going to start it at exactly 40 seconds in, and then we're going to stop it at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And listen very closely. Okay, so remember that 40 seconds in and stop at 2:15. So now we're going to go to iTunes Store. And this is the official iTunes Store. It's not anything apostate. And type in the address bar. The group's name is Audio Machine. That's audio like sound and then machine. Audio Machine. So this is the musician right here, Audio Machine. Probably the first 3 rows. And if you look at some of these album covers, they definitely look spiritistic or even demonic according to Jehovah's Witness standards. Now I just want to clarify, I'm not attacking this group Audio Machine. They probably just make tribal music, spirituality, higher consciousness. But to Jehovah's Witness standards, all that stuff would be considered spiritism, demonic. And some of these album covers do kind of look a little demonic, right? So the one we want to find is Epica. And that's, well, it's showing up on my search on the 3rd row. So when you get to Epica, wherever it comes up at, it's going to be track number 12, Eternal Flame. So that's the name of the song that Jehovah's Witnesses paid to use and pass it off as their own at the 2016 convention. So the reason I wanted you to start it off at exactly 40 seconds in on jw.org is because that's the same sample that iTunes uses currently at this time. They may change it later, but right now this is the sample on iTunes, that actual timestamp. So when we play it, listen very, very closely. You're going to see there's no question about it. It's the same exact track. Well, you can see that the exact same track, there's no question about it, that Jehovah's Witnesses paid to have this song used at their 2016 convention. Now, I just want to prove that Jehovah's Witnesses are the ones that pay to use this and not the other way around. That this song indeed, it belongs to Audio Machine and Jehovah's Witnesses using it. So if we go back to jw.org, and now we're just going to verify that they did indeed use this in 2016. So now go into the search and type in 2016 Remain Loyal to Jehovah Convention. So that's 2016 Remain Loyal to Jehovah Convention. And right here on the left, if you click on that under Programs and Events, it says 2016 Remain Loyal to Jehovah Convention. So this is going to bring up all the videos from the 2016 convention. And as we go down, right there, Jehovah will treat his loyal one in a special way. So I wanted just to verify that this was in 2016, that all Jehovah's Witnesses would have assumed that this is their creation, right? And certainly they wouldn't think it's anything spiritistic. And it's also noteworthy that this video is a video of the resurrection and the new system or New World Order. So the resurrection is Jehovah's Witnesses' biggest promise for the future. That's like what their whole religion is based on, the resurrection and the new system. So why would they take something as important as a resurrection video, something that really touches the heart of all Jehovah's Witnesses, and play some demonic spiritistic track? Right? Wouldn't make any sense. I know when I went to go see this convention, and I remember watching this video, I assume this is Jehovah's Witnesses' own music. So now let's go back to iTunes, and we're just going to validate and prove how the Audio Machine, they created this song way before the Watchtower decided that they were going to buy the rights to use it. So we go back to this album. You can see 2012. This album was released in 2012. So in 2016, then clearly Jehovah's Witnesses, you could say, borrowed this song, and most likely, of course, they would have paid the rights to use it. Not that I can verify, but in something like that, they're not going to just put this on their website and make a whole video without, making sure that they're not going to get sued later on. So this was in 2012, and Jehovah's Witnesses used it. So now that we just verified that this is real, that's on iTunes, is not something an apostate made up, anybody can look this up. So now let's just go back and look at some of this artist's other questionable things, because it's not just the fact that they use this song, and it doesn't sound like it's demonic or anything, but when you look at everything that this group does, and again, I'm not attacking this group personally, not at all, but when you're Jehovah's Witness, all this stuff here is considered spiritistic, demonic. So the first 3 rows, actually looks like the first 4 rows, are all Audio Machine. And you can see that a lot of these, especially from a Jehovah's Witness standpoint, they would look at any one of these and say, oh, that's demonic. Don't listen to that. So let's just take a look at some of the actual names of some of these songs. So this is the album that the other song is on. So just, and again, from a Jehovah's Witness standpoint, number 4, Transcendence. Transcendence of what? Number 5, Young Blood. Okay, maybe that's not too bad, but look at that album cover. Now here's another one, the album called Rise. Now, notice the name on some of these tracks. So let's go down a little bit. 17, esoteric. 18, choose your destiny. 19, dark magic. Jehovah's Witnesses wouldn't listen to anything like that, right? 23, follow the stars. Well, doesn't that sound like astrology? So why would the Watchtower actually pay and use this artist's music when this is the type of stuff that they make? So now let's go to another album, Chronicles. Number 5, 11 Days in Hell. And let's go down. 16, Hell's Balatin. 19, Legions of Doom. 25, Hymn of Rising. Now, not that that's bad, but Jehovah's Witnesses would say, oh, that's Buddha, that's Spiritistic, right? 27, Blood and Glory. So any Jehovah's Witness, if they seen one of these albums and read these songs, they would not listen to it, and they would say it's demonic and spiritistic. So let's go back to the beginning. And I just want to create this scenario. So imagine a young ministerial servant is out in service and he's driving, and maybe he has a couple sisters in the car, and maybe an elder. Now imagine he has this album cover laying in the back seat, and he's playing track number 5, 11 Days in Hell. What do you think would happen to that ministerial servant? You think he would get appointed an elder? Well, I think we all know who are Jehovah's Witnesses, that if any witness had something that looked like that in the backseat of their car, if they're playing a song called 7 Days in Hell, they would be in the back room. So what do you think would happen then if the ministerial servant were to say, oh, this is music that our organization buys and uses at conventions? Well, obviously they would say it's an apostate lie. So there's really no explanation for this. And I can just say that if my Jehovah's Witness wife caught me with something like that, she would probably report me to the elders. And if you take a look at that album cover again, the one that song is from that they actually used, clearly you can see that Jehovah's Witnesses would have no idea that when they watched this 2016 convention video with the resurrection, they would have no idea, looking at that picture on the right, where the music is actually coming from. So I want to just give one quick story of my experience trying to expose this. So this was one of the things that when I was on my way out, I tried to bring this up as proof that we're being lied to. So I start to explain to this Jehovah's Witness, I won't say who it was, and of course, the first thing they said is, that's a lie, right? Apostate lie. So I said, well, no, let me play it for you. Let me just play the song on iTunes. They said, no, I'm not listening. I said, it's iTunes. All right, I'm not bringing them on some apostate website. It's iTunes. So as I'm kind of going back and forth with them, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to play it anyway. So as we're kind of arguing about it, I pulled out my cell phone and I just pressed play on the audio machine. And then the Jehovah's Witness was like, I told you I didn't want to listen to that. So anyway, as it's playing, I said, isn't that the same song from the Resurrection Beach video? And this particular witness is very familiar with this video because this was their favorite video, one of them. So because I started playing it and I asked that question, isn't that the same song? They were then kind of stuck where once they started to hear it, they couldn't turn away from it. So then I got on the website and played it from the website. And I said, you see, it's the same song. and they were in denial. So I would say for about a half hour, they kept playing both of them, playing it from the website, playing it from iTunes. They just would not accept it. It only takes one time to really listen to it to know it's the same exact song, but they just would not accept it. So then they said, I don't know. And I said, well, that's because they're lying to us. And they said, no, they're not lying to us. I don't know. It sounds like it is the same song. So then this person went and they did research, of course, on a Watchtower library. So maybe about a week later, they came back and they said, okay, nope, that's not a problem. I found an article on the website, and the website says how they produce all their own music and this and that, and they use donations or whatever. And so then they were convinced because they found some article that said, oh, no, they produce all their own music or something like that. I don't know what the article said exactly because I didn't read it. So when they said that, I said, it doesn't matter what they wrote. iTunes proves that it's not their song. Like, iTunes has more weight than a Watchtower magazine because it isn't just iTunes. Audio Machine would have to be in on it too, right? If it was some apostate thing. So I reminded this person that Audio Machine created this song and it's been on iTunes and it was released 2012. Jehovah's Witnesses didn't use this song until 2016. So I said, there's no way it could be something made up or they're lying about the Watchtower. So then the person had said, well, what if iTunes is like, like basically iTunes is lying. So I said, well, what do you think? The apostates time traveled? Because they would literally have to time travel, right? The apostates, they would have to time travel. And, if you ever watch time traveling movies, like it seems like when you time travel, you can't take anything with you. Even sometimes you can't take clothes with you, right? You see movies where people time travel and like they're naked because in the whole world of time travel, right, you can't bring anything with you, if that even exists. I'm not saying that it does exist, but, that's what we understand about at least time travel movies. So that would mean that the apostates had to create a time machine and not bring the song with them, but then go back to 2012, then create the song, hack into the iTunes database, and then plant it on Audio Machine's album without Audio Machine knowing that there's an extra track there. Now, doesn't it sound crazy that the apostates would have to time travel back to 2012 to set up the Watchtower? Well, even when I explained it like that, this person still said it's a lie. It's not true because the Watchtower said they produce their own music. So really, the apostates would have had to time travel from 2016, grab the song, or they couldn't grab the song with them, but memorize the lyrics, go back in 2012, plant it on the iTunes database without Audio Machine knowing. And you know what? Witnesses that think like that, I realize that they're really not stupid at all. That is being brainwashed. That has nothing to do with IQ or intelligence. You would have to be brainwashed that even when iTunes has the song listed, and it was in 2012, and witnesses used it after that, for them to still say, no, it's a lie. The Watchtower said they produce their own music. Jehovah's Witnesses really are brainwashed. But I hope that this information can be useful and it's something that, maybe anyone watching this can use to try to wake a Jehovah's Witness up because, again, it's on iTunes. You can't make that up.